It's fair to say that Monaco may not be the most loved track in F1 24 due to its close walls, tight corners and a distinct lack of overtaking opportunities. However, with a good car setup, you can have a car that is stable enough to kind of really get into a good flow around this street circuit. Now I'm not going to waste any time and I'm going to jump straight into our recommended car setup. And it's worth saying that this setup is designed for stability throughout a race and is not a time trial setup, and it's been created with a racing wheel. So starting with the aero, it's no surprise that I've almost maxed out both front and rear wing aero. The front is at its maximum 50 while the rear is set to 49. The reason for this is that you'll want slightly less downforce at the rear of your car so you can rotate your car well and actually almost slide your way around a lap of Monaco. Despite its tight and bumpy nature, you will want to be quite aggressive in your driving style to really master Monaco, trying to over-rotate the car in some corners. Reducing the rear aero by just one click doesn't make a huge impact, but it works with the rest of our car setup to achieve our overall goal of a little bit more rear rotation. The transmission setup is pretty safe. I've gone with 35% on throttle, 25% off throttle, and an engine braking setup of 30%. Now you may think that you should lower the on throttle diff right down to get the best traction, however, keeping it slightly higher will allow for some additional rotation and a little bit of tyre slip under acceleration. This will let you rotate the car out of the corners a little bit better. But if you are really struggling to drive this circuit without traction control, lowering the on-throttle differential will make accelerating a little bit easier at the expense of some outright pace. With our geometry setup, we've taken a leaf out of the time trial setup playbook with a complete left setup approach. Monaco consists mainly of corners rather than straights, so moving the camber to the far left will add more lean angle to the tyres and improve our mid-corner grip. Tyre wear isn't too much of an issue around the streets of Monaco, so we can really get away with this style of setup. The minimum amount of toe will allow the car to be more stable, and it will also reduce a bit of drag down the straight out of the tunnel and along the pit straight, just to try and give you that slight chance of a rare overtake. I've set our suspension setup to 34 and 2. This combination makes the front of the car stiff for good responsiveness and initial turning, while keeping the rear of the car really soft for stability. I've gone incredibly low on the ARBs for this setup, and that's due to one thing: stability. Increasing the anti-roll bar stiffness will start to introduce more slip during the mid to late corner phase, and it can over-rotate your car on the corner exit. This style is great for a time trial setup, but not so great for a race setup. Increasing the ARBs makes the final sequence of turns 18 and 19 incredibly sketchy. With the brake setup, I've once again gone with 98% brake pressure, but I've lowered the bias to 51%. Due to the slower speeds, it's easy to lock a front tyre around Monaco, so moving the brake bias more rearwards helps prevent this. Monaco is the one circuit in F1 24 where you could probably even get away with a brake bias of just 50%. Finally, our tyre pressure setup is balanced for wear throughout a race. Go 23.9 psi on both front tyres and 21.6 psi on both rear tyres. And this will round out our Monaco race setup. This is not one of my favourite tracks, so I'm super happy to be moving on to Canada, which is a much more enjoyable circuit. However, this car setup does allow you to be aggressive around the streets of Monaco without the car ever stepping too far out of line. Let me know whether you guys do like this track, and let me know how you get on with the setup as well. If you're feeling kind, hit that like button as it will really help this video get seen by more people. But for now guys, I will see you on track.